After you're done painting your red purple, we'll move on to blue purple. Purple is done, but we still need that purple paint. And we also need blue. So go ahead and make sure that you have 1 pump of blue and 1 pump of purple. Purple's already painted, so we're going to go ahead and start with blue, just like we've been doing this entire time. We're going to outline our shape first. After you're done outlining, you can go ahead and fill the rest of the shape in by pulling and lifting. Now we're going to go ahead and mix our blue purple. Again, purple is stronger than blue, not by a lot, but it is stronger, and that's why purple looks a lot like black. So we're going to be mixing small amounts of purple into our blue. This is probably going to be the trickiest color to mix, just because blue and purple are so dark. This might be one where you actually will paint it and then realize that it needs to be darker, and you might have to just paint over that after you make your paint darker. Remember, you're just taking small amounts of purple. It's the darker, stronger color, and we're mixing it in with the blue until we get a blue-purple tertiary color. You can already see that the blue that looked very dark is already starting to lighten up, just like the purple did a little bit. So don't worry about this too much until after the bluish purple dries. So just like before, we're going to outline our shape right away. And we can go ahead and fill in our triangle or pizza slice by pulling and lifting. Remember, you can always flip your brush over to get the paint off on the second side. Before we start mixing in our greens, we're going to clean our brush. We want to get off all of that extra paint. And then we're going to pull down very gently. And once our brush is dry and there's not much paint coming off anymore, you can go ahead and rinse it off by painting the bottom of the cup 10 to 15 times. And we can check it. Now I still have a little bit of blue showing up, and this is going to happen when we start painting with darker colors. They're a little bit harder to wash out, so I'll go ahead and I'll just repeat it, and I'll rinse it one more time. And we'll check it, and now that's much better. Okay, so I can spike my hair up. Again, the more paint you put on the brush, or the darker the color of the paint, the harder it's going to be to rinse it off and wash it. If it's not clean after the first time, just repeat it. Wipe your paintbrush, rinse your paintbrush 2, maybe even 3 times. Make sure it's ready for the next person that's going to be using this paintbrush. We are done with our purple, so we can take our purple out of the equation. We'll have our blue left over, and we'll have our green. So make sure you have blue and green. Our blue is already painted, so we're going to go ahead and paint in our green by outlining it first. Then we can go ahead and fill it in by pulling and lifting. We're going to mix our blue and our green. Remember, the blue is much darker than the green, so we'll just be taking small amounts of blue, the darker color, and mixing it in with green, the lighter color, until we get a blue-green that we're happy with. Be patient when you're mixing dark colors in with dark colors. It does take a while for them to change. When you mix a dark color with a light color, it changes very quickly. So for this one, it might just take a few tries before you start getting to see the color that you really were looking for. We'll start by outlining our blue-green triangle, or pizza or pie shape. And we can fill it in. Before we head into our last tertiary color, we can go ahead and clean off our brush. Again, I like to just get the paint off of the metal piece first, since we were using our paintbrush to mix. And then for the paint that's on the brush, I just pull down, lift, pull down, lift. We don't need to scrub back and forth. We're just getting any of that extra paint globs that might be left in the brush from painting, so that they're not going into our water. After it's dry, we can rinse it out. And green is dark like blue, so you might need to do this twice, like I had to do the blue, but we'll see how it turns out. Let's double check it. It's pretty good, but I'm going to rinse it one more time just to be safe. I want to make sure whoever uses this brush next definitely does not have to worry about the colors that I used getting into the colors that they want to use. There we go, much better. So I'll spike the hair up very gently. Now it's ready to use for the next time. On to our last tertiary color, so we're going to be mixing yellow with green, so we can get rid of our blue, slide our green over, and we can get some new yellow. For this last one, it's nice. We don't have to paint a yellow or a green. They've already been painted, so we are going to mix a little bit of green in to our lighter, not as strong yellow. And you can see that changed the yellow really fast. So for this one, it doesn't take a lot of green to change the yellow. The yellow is very light. The green that we're using is very dark. So just a small amount is all I needed to change that into our green yellow. To start our shape, we'll outline first. After you're done outlining, we can go ahead and fill it in by pulling and lifting. Last thing before we can say we are done is we need to clean our brush one last time, getting all the paint off of the metal and the handle, pulling down very gently, and then we can rinse. We can double check it. Looks good, so we'll spike the hair up one last time. The brushes can go back so that the next student can use it. If you've been using the same piece of paper towel like I have been, now this can go ahead and get thrown away, and you can go ahead and dump your water. Once you're done with our basic elementary color wheel with our primary blue, yellow, and red, secondary purple, orange, and green, and now our tertiary colors, yellow, orange, red, purple, green, blue, and green, yellow, you can go ahead, put this on the drying rack, let it dry, then it'll be in your folder until the end of the year. And you can move on to the video that explains how you're going to paint using tertiary colors your Paul Klee self-portrait.